Call me crazy, but I think Steven Gerrard would be a better fit at Liverpool instead of Xabi Alonso. I think if Liverpool are going to part ways with Arne Slot in the summer, that is an interesting appointment that Liverpool could make. The reason that I feel like that is I just think Alonso's going to come in and play a similar style to what Arne Slot is. Now, could it be coached better? Would he maybe have a little bit more about him? Yeah, potentially I think so. But I just think the more in my head I go over it and over it and over it, I think he suits Man City more. I think just the way that kind of tactical, positional style of play suits City more as a club. They've had it there with Pep and all the directors of football that they've had. I think that if they can carry that on and they can stay stable as a club with one of the greatest managers of all time leaving in Pep Guardiola, I think Alonso would suit that more. So do I think like someone like Cesc Fabregas would suit City more than I do think of Liverpool. That time period for me has come and gone. I think that time period of almost like Arne Slot, and I know he's won the league and it's been grateful, I've made the videos on all of that, but that time period for those coaches was when Jurgen Klopp was there. When Pep brought it in and all these coaches were really starting to play and everything. And we were kind of the opposite to that. Not that Liverpool didn't try and play, and we definitely, towards the end, it evolved, and certainly with players like Thiago coming into midfield to look to try and play, and that's because teams kind of sit deeper against you and you need to kind of adapt and evolve with who you are. But that time has come and gone. I think the game's shifting now. I think you can see like Michael Carrick at Manchester United. I think it's going back to being a little bit more old school, a little bit more less complicated. I think you can get ahead of the curve there. Now, that's not to say that like Michael Carrick's going to go on and do amazing for Manchester United, but all I'm saying is we've seen a manager come in and overcomplicate things there, and all he's done is he's put players in the correct positions, he's getting the ball forward, he's using Old Trafford, and he's trying to make it a million miles an hour sometimes. And of course, there's little tactical ideas in there on how you can break a team down. I'm not saying that. And you need to continue to use data, and all of those things are still prevalent in football. So you need to have a little bit of a balance to that. So for Gerrard, you would need to have a staff to come in that can kind of add to that kind of area that he would. But then Jurgen Klopp had that with likes like Pep Linders and his other staff that were there. So you find the balance there between the two. And I just think he would offer the energy. I think that's what Liverpool are about, is energy. It's using Anfield, it's being at home, it's getting on the front foot, it's just getting forwards, it's being attacking. It's similar to Manchester United, right? And of course, within that mix, you can play football. Absolutely you can do. I'm not saying that you can't. But there's just a little thing missing from Liverpool, and I think that's the thing that most fans are kind of really, really feel as if they're missing. Like, even if we're playing well and everything, and the Champions League run's still there, but it's missing it's missing that spark, it's missing that energy. And I think he could come in and provide it more than Xabi Alonso could. Now, look, did he do poor at Villa? Yes, I get that. Then he goes to Qatar. I understand that's going to be the argument for everybody, but I think certain people in life just suit certain things, certain moments, certain positions better than they do others. You hear kind of like Wayne Rooney's talked about that a lot, about kind of, managing at lower levels, and would Wayne Rooney do better maybe if he had the higher level players, so to speak? Like, potentially, I just think Gerrard suits. I think what Gerrard suits is like a club with like pressure. I think he thrives off of pressure, and I think you've seen that at Rangers. He comes in and does it. I know you say, well, that's the Scottish League and it's not the Premier League and he's not having to do with Champions League in Europe. I get all that, and that's something that you would have to overcome and being able to do. But so was Xabi Alonso. I know he did like Bayer Leverkusen in Europe as well as the Bundesliga, but again, different leagues. Can you handle the Premier League in Europe? That's going to be the same for whoever you bring in at the end of the day, really, unless it's someone like Carlo Ancelotti or that who's experienced, and but obviously Liverpool aren't going to do that. So I just think Gerrard would just add the spark and have the balance and just pull things back and just simplify things a little bit more and get things going and just bring the energy back to Liverpool, to be quite honest with you. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think in the comments about it. If not Steven Gerrard, I mean, I just want maybe someone that would have that type of style of characteristic, that type of manager. So if you know people across the European leagues, I don't tune into it as much. So if you're someone that's clued up on that, let me know. Let me know who they manage. I'd love to go check it out, see what the style of is. But that's my thoughts on it. I think he would be a better fit than Alonso. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on Alonso. And look, if we brought Xabi Alonso in, I would support him. He was a great player for us. He kind of gets what Anfield is, but I don't know, he's a bit more positional play, tactical style, and I feel like that's where we're at now, and it might be a little bit better, but we will see.